Hello, guys. Slide number 5 is going to be kind of difficult. I'm already going to tell you guys it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot of stuff that you need to understand how to do. I'm going to try and help you guys through it, but I mean, it's going to be challenging. So to begin with, I'm going to write the system equations that they gave us. And this time we have a quadratic. As you can see, the first equation I'm writing is going to be quadratic. And the second equation I'm going to write is going to be linear. For the most part, we know how to solve for linear equations. But in this case, you're going to notice that we're going to have to use factoring later on. So if you look at A, it says use substitution to write a new equation that can be used to solve the system. Okay. So in other words, they're asking us to change one of the two equations, this one or this one. They're telling us we have to change one of those two to make a whole new equation. Okay, what does that mean? All right. So first I have to decide which one I'm going to pick. And I'm going to be honest with you, I would always pick the one that's linear. It's easier and you guys know how to do it. You've been doing it last year and you should be able to do it this year too. So I'm going to do the linear equation. I'm going to go ahead and work with it. So 2x minus y is equal to 5. Okay, I'm going to do my line. And then, what's the first thing that I always do? I always want to move my x to the other side so I can leave the y variable by itself. So I'm going to do minus 2x or negative 2x. And now, can I add or subtract 5 and 2? No, because they're different terms. Okay, they're not like terms. So all I can do is I can grab the 5 and I can drop it right next to it. So what's that going to give me is going to give me negative 2x plus 5. Okay, that's everything that happens over here on the right-hand side. Now, what happens on the left, you're going to notice that my 2x and my negative 2x cancel out. And whatever is left over, we always bring it down. So I'm going to have a negative y. Don't forget to bring always the sign in front of the y. If it's positive, still bring it down. It's good to know like what kind of sign you have. Now, can we have a negative in front of a y? The answer is no. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide by a negative 1. This is not going to change anything except for the signs. So my y, my negatives cancel out, right? So negative over negative is positive. So now I have a positive y. That's what I want. Then we have negative over here. So we have 2x. Now we have positive over negative becomes negative. So that's my new equation. That's the new equation that we need to do. Oh my god, that's horrible. Okay, that's the new equation that we want. We did that step. Now, this is all for A. This is all for A. It's asking us to do this. This is what you have to do first. And then I'm going to let you guys try and do the other stuff by yourself. But, I mean, it is what it is. Second thing, we're not done with A. We need to have a whole new equation, right? What does that mean? We're doing substitution. Now that we know that y is equal to everything across from it on the green, right? You see it. We're going to use everything on the green and we're going to plug it in and substitute it for y on the other equation. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to have x squared minus parentheses 2x minus 5. The reason why we change one of them is so we can plug it to the other one, right? Equals 8. All right, not too bad, not too bad. All we have to do, we just have to distribute the negative to the 2 and the negative 5. Which should give us x squared minus 2x plus 5 equals 8. Now, for the case of this problem, we're going to want to move the 8 to the other side. So I'm going to do negative 8, negative 8. So the final equation that I'm going to have is x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now, that's the answer for A. That's A. That's your answer. I'm going to highlight it. No. That's what we did. That's what we're working. So if you're watching the video, you should already know how to do that. Okay, because I did it with you guys. I did it on purpose so you guys know what we're going to be working. Now, I want you guys to solve for x. How are we going to solve for x whenever you have a quadratic? There's a couple things that you can use. You can use a quadratic formula. You can use what? What else can we use? If you have been doing the work, you should know that we can do the x method. And that's the one thing that I want you guys to use. So we're going to do x. Big X. I want you guys to do your super big X because we're going to need it. Also, over here, I'm going to put a couple rules. Let me see if I remember correctly. It's going to be x plus bx plus c. Oh my god, I might need more space. Yeah, let me rewrite that. I want to put this on here because it's important. And people forget, for the time being, you're going to start understanding how this works a lot more. But for the time being, I'm going to write it out so you guys can see it. You notice that I have stuff in parentheses, right? This is how your answer is supposed to look. Okay. So if your problem looks like this, I'm highlighting it right now as I'm speaking, then your answer looks like this. You're going to have two different parentheses. You're going to have x plus a number. So that's how the format is going to be. And I'm going to show you guys right now. Problem, answer. Okay, this is every time you have a quadratic and you're doing the x method. This is going to help you out find factors, and I'm going to discuss that later. I mean, you should have already watched the video on how to do factoring, but just in case you did not watch, I'm going to show you how to do it here. Also, I believe we have x plus bx minus c. Okay? And let me see, did I write it down? I think I did write it down. Because I do forget sometimes, you know, I want to make sure I get this correctly. I don't want to give you misinformation and you guys getting stuff wrong because I didn't cover it correctly, you know? So we have, first we have a plus and then we have a minus. That means that we're going to have x plus, and then we're going to have x minus a number. This is a number. But in this case, the important thing about this okay, so whenever you have this type of problem, is that your first number right here is going to be bigger. That's going to make more sense later on. And on the other one, it's going to be smaller. I'm going to leave that as it is. But you'll guys understand once we do like the factoring and stuff like that. I know this is factoring we didn't cover as much. And whenever we did cover, we didn't like calculators. So I know it's going to be a little difficult for you guys to understand the concepts. But I believe you guys can do it. I really do. Then let's say we get this type of problem. What that means is that both of my answers, we're going to have x minus n. We're going to have x minus n. I'm going to try and put the picture on there so you guys can see everything. Then finally, the last one's going to be, I believe, is negative bx. And, oh, shoot. Man, there we go. Again, we're going to have x minus n. We're going to have x plus n. But this time, this number is going to be big. This number is going to be small. Okay, that's all the rules that you need to know for right now. Okay? Just bear with me. That's everything that you need to know just for right now. I'm going to try and put like an actual note on your thing so you guys can see all of it. But because this is a video, like I cannot just pop up a picture out of nowhere and just show it to you guys. But I'll put it on there. I'll put it on there just for your reference whenever you're doing this problem. Now let's go ahead and actually try and do the problem from here on out. So we need to find the factors for the problem right here that I have right here. Okay, so I'm gonna write it out. I'm gonna put it over here on the side. And whenever you're doing this, there's three things that you need to understand. You're gonna have A, you're gonna have B, and then you're gonna have a C. Okay? And it always goes in order. Okay? So I'm gonna have A, B, and C. Okay? If X doesn't have anything in front of it, you're gonna put a 1. Because there's gonna be an invisible 1 in front of the X. Now, in this problem, I can see that my B is gonna be -2. And my C is gonna be -3. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Whenever you're doing the X, on the top center, you're gonna put A times C. And on the bottom, all you're gonna write is B. That's exactly what numbers we're gonna put. So on the top, I'm gonna do A, which is 1, times C, which is -3, which is gonna give me -3. On the bottom, all we need to know is what's B. B is just -2. So you're already halfway there. Now, we need, and I'm gonna tell you a number, and this are the rules for finding out a number. You need a number. Now, you notice that we don't have anything. Oh, shoot. You notice that we don't have anything here. I'm going to put question marks. We don't have anything there or there. The way that we figure out that number, we're going to be using the little, this stuff that I put over here on the side. We're going to be using that. Plus, there's two things that you need to understand. Number one. When multiplied, this is when multiplied. And I'm talking about the number here and the number here. When I multiply those two numbers, it has to give me the number on top. Okay? It has to give me the 3. If I multiply them, it has to give me the 3 over there. Okay? If I multiply. Okay. That's not what I want. Okay. Let me go back. Let me erase that real quick. Oh, I need to do my eraser a little smaller. There we go. When multiplied, it has to equal number on top. Okay? Now, number 2. And this has to be the second rule. The second rule. When added, I want to say combined. I'm going to use combined. When combined, the two numbers on the sides, right? It has to equal number on bottom. In other words, when combined, it has to equal to B. When multiplied, it has to equal to A times C. Okay? Plain and simple. -3. So in this case, I need two numbers that whenever I multiply them, it's going to give me -3. But whenever I combine them, it's going to give me -2. So let's go ahead and figure out how that's going to work. So I'm going to put a table right here. I'm going to try and find factors of 3. So what two numbers give me 3? So I know 1 and 3 gives me 3. 2 and what number gives me 3? Nothing. Okay? 3 and 1. Okay, we repeated ourselves, so we don't need that. Okay? Fair enough. So I know my numbers have to be either 1 or 3, because 3 is a prime number, so it's kind of easy on this one. Now, You see the chart I had, the little chart over here that I have on the side? What I want you guys to do, I want you guys to look at what type of problem do we have here. Which one's my problem? As you can see, we have two negatives, right? I have negative here and negative here. Out of all the things over here, which one has the negative and negative? Well, I can already see it, so it's going to be this guy right here. This guy is going to be my negative and negative. So look at how the problem says that we need to do this. And I'm going to do exactly what it says right there. So I'm going to write x minus, then I'm going to put x plus. I should have done the first one bigger, but it doesn't matter. So I have it already. My answer is going to kind of look like that. So what do I do from here? I know that my numbers is going to be 1 and 3, right? But now the only thing I need to decide is which one's going to be positive and which one's going to be negative. And if you look at the rule, it's going to say that my big number is going to be negative. So I already know that I'm going to put the 3 over here and the 1 over here. And that's going to be my answer. That's it. We're done with the factors. We're done with everything. But we're not done yet. I know this problem is wild. I know. But this is stuff that we need to start doing. It's going to be a lot more rigorous than last year. So you guys better start paying attention. I know it's taking a lot of time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time to do this. And you're just going to have to just grind through it. Grind through it. Because the only way that you're going to be able to get a grade from here on out is just by doing Carnegie. You're not going to be able to make grades up with anything else. We're just going to be doing Carnegie the entire time through. So, final thing that we need to find. We found the factors, but now we need to find the solutions. How do you do that? You're going to equal each parenthesis to 0. So what I mean, I'm going to write 3 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. And then you're also going to do x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now you just solve for x. So I know this is plus 3. So I know x is equal to 3. And over here, we're going to do the same thing. Minus 1. We know that x is equal to 1. So if you notice, this answer has two x values. If you notice before, we only had one answer so far, and this one has two answers for x. So this is the answer for number 2. So if you've been watching the video, you should already have the answer for this too. So this is going to be what? Oh my god, this is B. The answer for B right here. Okay. Now, the next couple steps on the assignment, I'm actually going to let you guys do that by yourselves. All right. Now that you have the answers for x, what I want you to do, I want you to graph the x, and I want you to pick whichever equation you want to use. Okay? You can either use this equation, which I'm going to already tell you, you should use this equation. A lot easier. I would use that equation, or you can use the other one. You can use that one too. And you're going to be plugging in both x's to see what you get for your y's. Alright, you need to get two different y values. Okay, and that's going to be, I believe that's going to be for number 3. Yes, that's going to be for number 3. Or C, it's going to be for C. Now I'm going to put C. This is C. So, substitute. I'm still writing here just so you guys know what's going on. Substitute both x numbers to what did I put F? To find it's because I was thinking of find y. Alright, that's the answer for C. Okay, what comes next? D. On D, just graph. All I want you guys to do is graph it. You're going to be using the inspire. So I'm going to put inspire. Okay? And I want you guys to do this. I want you to look at your answer whenever you did it by hand, which is right here. C is your answer by algebraically. Algebraically, I think. I'm not sure if that's how you spell it. Oh, it has two L's. Okay, algebraically. That's how we figure out our answers, right? You're gonna get your two X's, which are right here. And now you just need to find your two Y's. Then, whenever you graph it, you're going to look at where your answer is. Okay, whenever you graph it, you're going to notice that you're going to have parabola, and then you're going to have a different line, and they're going to be touching at 2 points. And wherever they're touching, that's going to be a solution, and that's going to be another solution. Okay, I'm going to put it solution here. And I want you to look at that, because your final question, E, is going to tell you to write stuff. If you have a partner with you, discuss this with your partner. Okay? I'm going to put discuss with partner. Or, I mean, I don't know how the desks are right now because I'm in there for a while. But if you're in a group, talk to your group and see what's the difference whenever you're doing by hand and whenever you just graph them. Are they at the location of the solutions where they're supposed to be? Yes or no? But make sure you elaborate on that. Okay? And that's it. That's the entire thing. I know it took us 21 minutes to cover the whole thing, but this is a lot. It's a lot harder than other stuff. So just try your best. Okay? Thank you guys.